Hurrah! The Russian war cry goes up as the motherland is under attack in today's NTW 3 battle for you here today. And we have a glorious 4v4 corps battle here with a whole selection of different corps here on the map of Pomerania 2, not Pomerania 1 or 3, but Pomerania 2. And we have, yeah, an intriguing 4v4 going on. How the spawns start, you basically have two armies stacked behind each other. So usually it's a pretty simple 2v2 going on. But it already looks like Russia is planning to swing most of its forces off to the left here. From their perspective, the French right. We've got Tomasov here. Looks like he's going to be taking on the right-hand side on his own. We've got a whole bunch of cavalry here, including Pavlogard. Hussars, that's a very, very good unit there. And then we've got, yeah, more Hussars over here, which is pretty solid, and then Cossacks as well to back him up. We've got Steinheil. We've got Tichikov, and then the final corps is Constantine with the Guard, a glorious Russian Guard, which we don't often always see. I know a few of you guys do love seeing them. I don't know what it is about them. They're okay. They look pretty cool. But yeah, we do have the Guard here as well here today. And then for the French, we do have the Guard Imperial as well. So we do have the French Imperial Guard, we have the Vu, we have Rainier, and there's also a MacDonald as well. As a cav fight already has begun over here. We kind of missed it, but yeah. Looks like the Pavlogard won that one. What did they rout? They rout the Red Lancers, of all things to rout. There's another one still alive here. This is the Imperial Guard cavalry over here. They managed to rout that pretty effectively there. That is a big, big win there for the Russians. And then we've got the chasseurs, like the servants, chasseurs of the guard. There's another one over here. So my gosh, is this guy gone all cavalry for the guard? Surely not. Looks like he might have done actually. We've got a Polish lance there as well. This is all guard cavalry if I remember correctly. There you go. The red lance have returned. Kind of expect that from them. But yeah, might see an all guard cavalry here. If you see Prussia on the map, that's because there's MacDonald. So MacDonald, for some reason, is the Prussian corps. But I mean, his corps is mostly made up of Prussians and Poles. If I remember, it's like a 5-point like army, and then we've got Zoom. This is going to be Blue here, and then Rainier is somewhere with a Saxon emblem somewhere in the back. I imagine. Yeah, he's all the way back there. Yes, the only French emblem. Well, there are two. There's the Guard and also. Devu, but yeah, Devu's going to be providing the mass, it seems, here today. We've got Cossacks already lingering in the back, keeping an eye on these Prussians. If I was the Prussian player, or I would be aware that my units are no longer hidden, and you're like, well, there's cav in my back, I need to keep an eye on that. He has already pushed his cav way up. I think he has realized something's going on because he's sending cav back now. But yeah, be very, very aggressive with the cavalry here already. Pushing on Jaeger units here that can already form squares. They don't want to be doing that, really. France, I feel like, needs to just slow it down a bit. The Russians look a lot more concentrated, a lot more organized. There's still two French armies on the way forward. They're slow-moving allied armies as well, and Saxons and Prussians. There you go. We've got a Prussian cavalry already looking to protect that. The Cossacks have given up where they are, and they are probably going to get sandwiched now between those dragoons and that Hussar unit there of the Prussians. But yet, it's good to be back in the world of NTW3, back with some more Napoleonic action. Okay, Devu's decided to dismount. Interesting choice. There'll be some logic, I'm sure, behind it. Don't know why he's doing that, but he is. Interesting. And I can hear more cavalry going in. Yeah, it's good to be back with more NTW3, back with some more Russian campaign as well. Always brilliant to have. And yeah, if you're wanting to see more NTW3 on the channel, you know what to do. You just gotta hit that like button, subscribe from around here, and comment to show what it is help out the channel. And each like means one more troop into Napoleon's Grand Army. And what a Grand Army it could have been, that's for sure. I mean, at this point, I guess like 1812 is kind of at the peak of its powers, really. You can't really get much bigger than that and be a functional force. Even in 1812, it's not really functioning that properly, as we got Polish Lancers going in there. Getting some kills, but I think the Russians kind of got mostly out of there. The Prussians are just stood right next to the square. It's going to get focused down. And actually, the French, I think, killed their own Prussian allies well, trying to take out the Jaeger here. This one actually couldn't form square, so I don't know what the Prussians were really doing. Pull that one could form square? Nope, they just kind of stood by it. I think we are now going to see the Guard Cavalry go in, or at least the Lancers are trying to go in. I think pathfinding is being an issue for them. But yeah, here comes Davout. He's going to just go straight down the middle. It doesn't seem like there's anything really to protect this left flank here. Like, Tomasov is just coming in. They really need Rainier to arrive just to kind of pin down Tomasov and Steinhill. And then I guess MacDonald backs up Davout wherever he's needed. There you go. That Lancers dealt with that infantry unit. But yeah, it looks like an all cavalry guard army. So it's going to be difficult here for the French. They're pretty much down an army. The cav armies. I mean, they can work, but I don't know whether it was really necessary to do against the Russians. Yeah, the Russians can bring often quite a lot of cav, a lot of decent dragoons, but like France can kind of do the same. Not necessarily with these corps. Certainly, they have the options. Trying to go for these howitzers here. Have the Prussians failed to get him. Though they have got. I don't even know if they got the carriages off them. Dragoons here are now going to get countercharged. They're desperately trying to go around these stakes. I think we're going to see these hussars coming here. They are going to try and get the guns. I don't know why Russia just abandoned defending them. He has. And there you go. The Prussians got in there. And now Russia, he's going to go for a countercharge. He's actually not interested in defending his guns. He's going to go for skirms. He could then get a gun here. And there's also a general in the open. Well, multiple generals actually in the open here. That could be in danger. There you go. Prussian cavalry running back across the stake line. They routed the Russian dragoons. That was huge that they did that. Here go the French, though, straight into melee. Lancers coming up here as well for the Poles. Pulled out of melee. Shouldn't really be doing that, that's for sure. That's a no-no. Here go the Servants. Going in. Guard cavalry going in. And in they go the Poles as well. They try to counter-charge Russian cavalry there. A bit of a mess. That's for sure. When it comes to unit crossing, I'd say a little bit. You could say a little bit of unit cross going on here. There's going to be a unit cross, I think, with those Servants going back out. But I'd say that's okay because that's not that's a pretty passive move. Yeah, as you can see, France is pushing hard here. Russia is trying to swing to basically now to defend this tree line almost. Vu has gone straight on through. I mean, they destroyed their initial defense, got rid of some cavalry and some artillery, but significant infantry losses are not to be seen here. Tychkov's lost a couple of units here and there, but nothing insane. Though it looks like Tychkov was close to being taken out by Polish Lancers, who are very much dancing about. There's still a lot of Russian cav. I mean, this is, I guess, possibly why France felt like they had to bring an all-guard cavalry army. Rainier is finally arriving with his slow-moving infantry. Most of his infantry is all allied German stuff from the Confederation of the Rhine and Saxony. I think primarily Saxony. Yeah, they are coming forward. But he can, I think, like, produce quite a mass-filled army. And he's got some decent cav as well. Like, these Chevaliers are actually pretty decent and a big unit. And they actually could be a bit of a problem here for some of the Russian units. Though, like we've seen already, they've got some pretty handy units out here, to be honest. Tomasov's got some good dragoons, and he's got combat gens as well for quite a few of these dragoon units as well. So yeah, they're going to be tough to kill off. It's just whether France has the mass. I mean, Davout here has got infantry. Hopefully Davout has got all infantry, to be honest. I mean, he's probably got like light cav available. I think that's all he has available in his core. It really is just all infantry, to be honest. So he should be just like going straight on in, to be honest. We just keep moving forward. His infantry's not going to be able to shoot nearly as well, I would have thought, as some of the Russians, since listen, he's got all line here. There's a relatively decent amount of light, and the guard can shoot pretty well, but they can also melee pretty well as well. Interesting to see how this one goes down. Looks like, where's Constantine? Oh, he's all the way back here. Brother of the Tsar, leading the Tsar's guards into battle. Glorious as well as they do it. They really do. Yeah, they are going to get sent in. I think they're going to get kept as a reserve. Maybe swing around, hit Rainier in the flank. Still, there's Russian cavs like just sniffing around in the back. These Cossacks here are going to get themselves an easy kill on. I think these are like Portuguese Voltigeurs or something like that. They're certainly German Voltigeurs. Like some allied Voltigeurs, not French. Anyway, they're just going to the Cossacks going to stand up there and look at them, apparently. And while that is going on, another cav fight, another cav charge is coming in. In go the Red Lancers again. Evidently, these Russians can't form square. No cav support. I mean, there's dragoons right by them, but they're just doing nothing. The NSAV getting out of there. Cav going in and immediately leaving. You can see another charge on the Red Lancers. One of these already routed. They've gone in column formation. Try and lessen their losses. They're redlining. This one might route here, I think. I think this might be the one that already routed before. There you go. And they counter any sort of cavalry charge from the Russian squares are being pulled by Davout. I think they're going to try and go for the ruin. That is the center of their target here. What routed over here? Oh, is it the gun? Maybe. Anyway, Rainier is now set up. And what is going on in the back here? Was there a charge going? What is this Chevalier doing? I don't know what that's just charging around like a madman over there. Davout is still pushing on anyway over here. You can see he's going into melee. Russians here getting caught. They're going to just keep swinging on around. It's just a rotation right now. Still plenty of dragoons though that the Russians can use. Whoever can like kill off the other person's cavalry, I think more than likely is going to win this one. I know that sounds really stupid and not, duh, that's obvious, Pope. But generally, Russia's brought a lot of dragoons, and they're like pretty good ones in their combat gens. And same with like the Pavlograd Hussars, really good cavalry there. And like France has brought a blooming cav corps as guard. So if you kill that off, that's a 7-point gone. I think the guard is. I think rating 12 is a 7 point. So yeah, like if you kill that off, that's insane. You get here ready for a gunfight. Doesn't seem like the Saxons want to hang around though and really take that fight. Russia here though, I feel like can really press on with the cavalry. It looks like Saxons brought one. Whether the Prussians are going to need to send the other one there. Also, Russia has cav in the back. Like France, though, it's got all this. Well, as has a cav army. They've got some good cav units. They can't be everywhere. They want to be aggressive with it, but they also need to look behind them and what's going on there. I'm kind of concerned as to what the heck MacDonald's brought as well. I mean, we can't really see all of it. There must be more here. But yeah, he's got his Poles getting absolutely abused here. We'll see a charge in a moment from the Russians. Russians going in. Bet these guys... Oh, they can form square. They must be able to. It's kind of an easy bait, I feel like. That unit just so, like, on an angle. Asking to be cab charged. Bit of unit crossing going on here from the Russians. Yeah, get that out of there. That shouldn't be doing any charging. Jaeger are actually losing. I mean, these Saxon light infantry or these German light infantry kind of do slap quite often. France is moving forward here. A bit of unit crossing going on there as well. Be careful. Looks like Konstantine's turning around. He's getting ready to face off with Tychikov here against what I presume is Davout and bits of the guard. It looks like McDonald's has also gone like heavy cav looking at all of this and all this cavalry that I'm just seeing right now. Jaeger out here is getting just run down by Prussian dragoons. I was going to say Prussian cuirassiers. But Ulan's back there. Yeah, whether they just felt like they really desperately needed the cavalry and they've like got two like near virtual cav armies. MacDonald has at least fought some infantry. And then I think they've just told Davout just bring every man you can find that's not on a horse. Yeah, like I said, Davout does not really want to be in a gunfight. He doesn't necessarily also want to be... I mean, he probably does want to melee, but he wants cav support when he does it. I think just a melee infantry fight, like infantry on infantry, I think Russia wins that. Also a gunfight he might win. It's like Russia usually have bigger units. But these are big units. Yeah, the Russian guard will definitely be able to shoot pretty well. And look good whilst doing it. Looks like more cav fights over here, being one in the back. Yeah, looks like they routed. Did they get the Ulan? No, they didn't. The Ulan did get out of there, so that's still causing a problem in the back lines. If they're going for LOC, I mean, the Russians have this this building over here already. So, I mean, what LOCs, I mean, what are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Russians have most of them at the moment. I don't think the French... Oh! Don't think the French have bothered to occupy any of them. As I go under the sea! Oh my gosh! If you wonder what's going on under the earth, it's not soil or magma, it's just water. Proven here on the PopeJohnPaul channel. Yeah, these Saxons, they're not gonna win. I don't know if these ones are like guard or grenadiers or something with their red plumes. Plumes on hats usually suggest there's some sort of guard unit or, you know, a grenadier type unit. There's more infantry back here. It's just not really doing a lot at the moment either. The guard, I think they can all pretty much form square. And they've shifted them a bit around whether they can all inspire. I don't think they can. Oh, that's a bold charge here from the Cossacks. Pretty much fine. I wouldn't say that's a unit cross. Good gap made by the Russians. And just get rid of these Prussian skirms. In out job for them. Yeah, looks like the French Guard. Yeah, well, I was gonna say, French Guard cavalry was not interested. It now is interested. Russians are going to turn their skirmishers and just fire onto more Russians. Here come Jaeger. They're going to push forward. I think they're going to just square and just prevent the French from sort of countercharging that. Interesting formation going on here. This French unit is pretty much blocking the one behind it from shooting effectively. But he is himself getting probably good angle shots. I do not know whether it's worth it. France has gone in. Those Jaeger that was sort of, you know, going to screen the Red Lancers, they've been hit, as are the men outside of the building. But yeah, they're redlining these guys here. That should then do some damage to the line infantry inside the building, morale-wise. See whether it does. This is a pretty good Prussian unit, I think, as well, looking at their silly hats. If they have the silly plume on their hats, the Prussians usually identify it as a guard unit. For the Poles, yet they are going to get countercharged here. Actually, Russia's going into the very good Prussian unit. That's probably a loss. Davout has been pushed back, though. And need to be careful here. That's nicely done, actually. Nicely done. Russia's sending out the Hussars now to go and try and get skirmishers, or he's going to go and hunt for non-squareable Saxons, which could be any of these, to be honest. Slams into the Prussians and the Saxons. There you go, the Prussians force back, actually, even the really good ones, at least what I presume the very good ones. Tomasov coming forward here with Dragoons. He's going to charge straight into squares if he's not careful, and he goes into skirms. Better charge. Those are friendly stakes that set up a long time ago. And as you can see here, Saxon's having to shift his cavalry across to try and maybe save his core. Right now he's getting picked apart. It's the general? No, it's not. It's a skirmish unit, thankfully. I was like, oh my gosh. Cavalry here, I was going to say French cavalry is absent right now. But also, there's a big push going on this right-hand side here. No real success so far, or any losses, to be honest, both sides. Trying stuff. It looks like Russia tried a bit of a charge, got pushed back by squares. That Dragoon might be finished now as the Red Lancers chase him off, along with Prussian cavalry. A very thin sort of line over here, barely being... Actually, to be fair, the connection between Rainier and Davout has actually kind of been severed pretty much. It's been held together by cavalry. And the Russians now firing to the side of that Red Lancer, nearly routing that. The Dragoon here actually has routed the Red Lancer with the support of that infantry. And yeah, there you go. Any sort of concept that these two armies are connected is gone. Davout is probably going to lose his guns here. No, he didn't. Pathfinding screwed him, and instead he's gone in for a cavalry charge on the infantry there. Lucky for those guns, really. Whether he can see them. No, the infantry's just going to just charge him instead. He's going to abandon the guns. Probably the smart thing to do. Save the crew. And Davout, seeing all this, is having to retreat. As is the guard, but I mean, the guard's going in a different direction. Such an odd build, for sure, for the guard. I feel like just better off bringing, like, the Grognards and, like, the Chasseurs, the Pied, and like the middle guard, and just kind of going for the old melee. It kind of worked to start with as well, with, you know, like Davout actually managed to get into melee. I just feel like I do not have the mass right now to the French to really try anything. I mean, the Russians, I mean, to be fair, are also really well centralized. Here we go. Russia's going to charge the squares. I don't just kept shooting them. He's going to stay in square with his Jaeger as well. Just shoot those guys. But here goes the counteroffensive from Russia. Out of the situations, France wants to be the defender, probably. And they are orange lining in a few areas here. You can get good volleys off on some of these Russians before they charge in. They might be okay. Cav charge, though. This could be problematic here. Dragoons going through a nice gap in the line. That might be in trouble. They might be in trouble there. What is broken here? Oh, the servants are broken. Looks like some of the Jaegers of Steinhill. We got Russian cav coming forward as well. This is where, like, oh, still so much. It seems like back here just being kept in reserve. They're going to need to send some of these servants to try help save this French line infantry. Some of it's breaking to the Russian push here. Cavalry, yeah, has done its damage as well. But both Russian and French units are breaking here. Kind of a bit of a mess to know who's doing what down there. Again, the servants tried an attack, didn't really work. Prussian Cav's gone in. They might rout the Jaeger here. Failed unit that can form square, but I mean, it looks like a pretty bad charge. Winded cavalry, Tomasov. Rainier needs to just keep the pressure on. He's sort of tucking in, it looks like, unless he's probably still got some infantry out. It's just kind of fallen back. But it is meaning a lot of Constantine and Tomasov's army is just kind of stared looking at nothing, while the big fight is going on in this corner right now. The servants keep up their charges. They're going to keep charging in the Russian camp. It's definitely a bit of a mess down here. There's probably some unit crossing going on. There you go, the servants have been, at least one of them has been routed. The other one I think might be retreating. Russia is chasing down. I mean, they need to be careful. MacDonald's general is right here.
A unit has grown weary, sir.
The Dragoon could have just carried on onto that. It's tired, but it probably still would have done a job. Actually, I don't think either of the servants routed. Well, I don't know what broke down here. It's like an infantry unit, I think, by the looks of it. Here you go, Rainier into the side of the Russians, trying to support Davout. He stopped at the last minute because he's like, oh crap, you did not win the melee fight. And here comes the Russians again, another gap in the line. Pavlograd, Dragoons, oh sorry, TSARs. They've been repulsed there by a squareable Saxon. Very rare thing to find, like a four-leaf clover sort of type deal, that is. Here we go, Russia is on the advance. The Constantine's guard leading the way. I think Tomasov is also backing this up. Tichikov. I think it's Tichikov actually, isn't it? This is all guard actually, my gosh. He's even got some non-guardsmen, he's got some grenadiers there. If he can get into melee here, it could be over for the French. If the guard can get into melee. Some of them are pretty battered, some of them not so battered. The French cavalry charge here. I mean, they're just charging head on into infantry. Got filmed a little bit there, barely though. There you go, the French cav trying to get out of there, but Russian Dragoons side charging, even though they're winded. I mean, this is at least the good thing with having those guard cavalry. Is it like it's really hard to break, it's relentless. See a charge here, square formed here. I was going to say most of the guards are formed square. Surely they're aware of this. This is pretty much like fighting Britain in the sense that these guys can just everyone can square. Maybe not shoot as well, but here we go. Polish Lance is going in. might win that fight. Yeah, if they can quickly win that fight there and not get shot by the guards. Oh, they got to play on melee. Ugh. I don't know if, I think that's a rule break doing that. But honestly, I never know. The other Polish lancer going in. And that's going to rout the Dragoons there. And there go the French going into melee. This unit here was in square for quite a while. It's been charged whilst in square. The fighting sort of died down around here as the two armies sort of face off against each other. Davout is really stocking up his troops on this right flank here. Pulled out a melee here as well as the Davout player. He's actually lost his own unit because of that. French Cav again going in, again sort of trying to charge stuff like in square. Whether he's also trying to maybe bait the cavalry out, I do not know. Yeah, I think this is what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to get these Russians. Oh, he's going to get caught here himself, I think. He's not careful. There you go. They routed that Russian infantry. France needs to just sort of keep attacking this corner. Go for the squareable here. Somehow that Pole managed to survive as well. That's guard morale for you. Still Russian infantry in the back lines here. Got a grenadier on the front line here for Davout. Doesn't really want that there. He wants to have something else in that front line to be holding that. That needs to be saved for an actual, you know, an actual push, an actual charge. Gap sort of being made. Yeah, it's okay. It's not so bad. Here goes. Again though, they're charging guard. They know this. I mean, I think the reason they're doing it is just to form squares. 4 squares to be formed. That one couldn't form square. It's down to 35. It's routed because of that. And this one didn't form square either. I think that's because it wasn't able to. The Dragoon's going to get out of there, but they're closing the gap. So that's the reason they're doing it. It's just, I think they do know that the squares are going to get formed. They want them to be formed. The infantry can get closer and closer, and they can get volleys off. And there you go, like that, onto the Russian infantry. It's a very devious little tactic, that's for sure. Russian cav out here looks like it's routed the Saxon gun. Failed to keep that alive. Rainier is just honestly just having to stand here and just, you know, occupy Tomasov and Steinhill. And just let the 13-point Davout cook on the other flank. There you go. In goes the melee charge. It was expected. Forecast. Pulled out of melee. Didn't really fancy it. Maybe because the Dragoons are coming forward. I mean, there's a big counter push here now, so I think that's why he's fallen back. Russia is now stacked up a lot of Dragoons here, both of Tychkov and Tomasov's. In go the Lancers here, dealing with the Prussians. Former allies, now enemies, Russia and Prussia. Squares formed by the French where they can. And in go the Servants, and this is going to be the cavalry charge we've been waiting for. Whoever wins this might win the game. France and Prussia, to be honest, have been pretty poor and pretty slow in getting their cav into the fight here. There goes the Servants, they've routed. Bit of blobbing, though, definitely. There's be the 4 or 5 units of cavalry all attacking 1. But Russia's getting into all of these units down here, charging them. Is there a general in here? I think there's a general in there. And all of that as well, and he's routed. Maybe that's Davout. Possibly. No, I think Davout's here. Might be the guard general then. Which is not good at all. Squares getting formed where they can, and they are volleying as much as they can, preventing the Russians from having too much success. Cavalry here defeated by Davout's infantry. French cav out here. The Polish Lancers managed to win another cav fight. And more Polish Lancers going to the side of the Russian Dragoons here, winning that. And that's I think that's a really, really good infantry unit or cavalry unit there. It's pretty sure it's a guard hussar there for the Prussians. They just held up so many dragoons, and the French have been able to bail them out of that one. Russia still has a reasonable amount of cavalry. Some of it might also return. But that was a pretty bad blow there for the Russians. But, I mean, the French also lost some key assets. Looks like the servants aren't finished. They want to fight somewhere. Another second unit going in. Trying to save the Polish cavalry here. The servants have been redlined and they rout. And I think that's got to do with him trying to pull them out of melee. And he routs the Russian cav as well. And here we go. Rainier has come forward. He's actually managed to break a lot of Russians over here. Yeah, Rainier's just having to make sure he stays close to his opponent. I don't think there's any sort of... There's a couple of cav units over here, but nothing really too much that can threaten his general, though. He's keeping the Chevaliers very tight to them right now. But will the Russians stand their ground here? Will they do it? They form square just to make sure these lancers don't try and do silly. Rainier is still causing some issues. I mean, the issue is whether there's enough infantry for the French here to continue this this tactic. So far, it's going relatively well. The plan is sort of working for the French. It's just cost them a lot of troops. The Rainier is doing his bit. He's slowing down the enemy. What's going on over here? They need to be careful. This unit is on its side. Tomasov sees it with grenadiers and he'll probably charge that. That might be his opening. Oh, Rainier does still need to be careful. He's not rectifying that situation. I mean, he's trying to push here to help against Constantine. I like that. Trying to work as a team. As Davout routes another one of Constantine's units over there. Again, I think the guard unit's going to come forward here. They're going to try and force a square on the Russians. He just formed, and now the infantry can get in. Should rout that Prussian unit there. Looks like these boys turned on a sixpence as well, and they've got out of here. Rainier now very much aware of the Russians pushing on his position. Squares getting meleeed and shot, and they're just working their way down the line. It's taking just time, that's all. It's taking time and a little bit of effort. They are slowly, one by one, breaking these guard units. If they can get Constantine's general, well, just Constantine, it'd be much quicker. This is not good though. Rainier is getting charged by infantry and cavalry. And looks like he didn't do anything to prevent either charge. Didn't shoot the infantry, didn't square, maybe couldn't square. Oh, he's in a whole lot of bother over there, that's for sure. A whole lot of bother. And he's routed the infantry, actually. The cavalry pulled out, so this infantry has managed to get out of here. Incredibly enough. I think these Russian guardsmen charged because they weren't Ismailovsky. They were the ones that were getting charged in squares. I think these ones might have just charged in as well and got themselves killed. It's looking very tenuous for the Imperials right now. It's kind of hard to see how much Rainier has left. Acres of fog of war, but also forest. Russia just trying to stay at range now. He's going back to the old shooty tactic. They've got more infantry than the French. They can definitely just keep this up. No need for them to be going into melees, really. It's for the French to try and initiate them. Another one taking place on this side here. Again, it's the same tactic. They're doing it once again. They're going to just force this unit to form square. They didn't even take a cavalry loss doing it. Force them to form square. Oh, they lost one. Then the infantry will come forward. It'll either shoot or it'll go in a melee and try and bayonet them. But Davu's infantry unit's getting smaller and smaller. He's got some big formations back here, but I'm seeing a lot of very thin looking units right now. And by not bringing the Guard Imperial, which can, you know, melee so well, the old Guard, and Constantine has been brought, there's not really much that can match it. It takes, you know, shooting them in the side and also meleeing them to rout these guys, basically. If you had the old Guard, the old Guard would be able to take on a lot of this infantry. Oh, brutal last-minute volley there from the Russians. I mean, now they're fibbing. Now they are fibbing, and they've routed that French unit there. Horrendous fibbing. There you go. French infantry charged in. Russians are going to try and support their charge of the Prussians. There you go, another French victory there. Well, it came at a big cost. I mean, they're going to get this one as well here, by the looks of it. This Lifeguard Sapper. Going to get that. Again, Constantine's forced back. Now Davout is maybe looking to swing into Tomasov, who's now having a line fight with Rainier here. If he can now split the two Russian armies. Constantine's already got the facilities to be too aggressive. But unlike Constantine, I bet all of Tomasov's infantry, yeah, a lot of it cannot form square. I'm seeing a lack of squares here. Oh, these guys just fired it. I swear these guys just fired in the back of their own troops. I've seen the smoke plumes that appear there. Maybe not. Maybe they did. Yeah, if I was Davout now, I'd give up chasing Constantine. I mean, chase him to an extent, but you need to start swinging into Tomasov. Tomasov, though, aware it's the danger, is already falling back as well. Looks like he is going to just reposition. And this has been a bit of a battle of rotations, to be honest. Yeah, there's not a lot left of Davout. MacDonald's, you know, shoehorned his units on here to try and support, but it's not adding a lot either. I don't know why these French units are sprinting around. Oh, is he sprinting around trying to get this unit here? It's in square. One of Constantine's grenadiers has been in this building, safe and sound. France has barely brought any artillery. I mean, it brought a couple of pieces. They've been routed pretty quickly, which, to be honest, that also maybe make a big difference. I've not seen loads of Russian artillery either, to be honest, either. It's been a lack of artillery generally in this game. Whether it's because it's been... I mean, there's one over here somewhere. Russian guns somewhere. This is I'm pretty sure this is the howitzer artillery crew, actually, which... Their artillery piece is somewhere down here. So far away. I was like, oh, why is this shooting over here? It's because that unit's still just harassing French stragglers. Maybe because it's such low cores, and also we've had a few cav cores, like low point cores, and then there's been a cav core as well, where the players just thought artillery's not worth bringing, too expensive. Hence we've had like very little. Certainly like Saxony brought one, Davout brought one. Davout, oh no, this is Davout's general bodyguard. And that's also why he's dismounted him, because there's so many stakes lying around here. He doesn't want Davout just to run into them. Bit of an added risk because he's not mounted, but yeah, it saves you microing and worrying about him so much. Again, like I said, a gunfight's not what France wants. They went through this gap into the Polish lancers. They routed that Russian cavalry guard. It looks like they narrowly missed the dragoons here. Russia now cycling out beaten units that are down to 39 men, putting in healthy units as well. This idea of the two French armies being disunited is kind of over as well. Rainier has managed to link up and they've got pretty much a solid line to an extent for a little while.
Your men have been routed, sir.
And that's not so great. Polish lancers they're routing Ivan. And here you go, the French and the Prussians swinging on around. I mean, the thing is, the first few units are still all guard. Yeah, really well played by Russia here, just falling back constantly, not letting the French get too close to them. It's pretty even at this point, actually. I mean, we are looking from the Russian perspective, so we can see pretty much everything. This Russian unit just broke Konstantin's lifeguards here. I think they're going to farm and make sure they stay dead. Could get the general here. Konstantin, he's open. I was going to say he's open. And here you go. The Poles are going to get pinned. And in go the Red Lancers. They're going to go in for a charge. I thought they were going to go for Konstantin. They didn't. Polish Lancers retreat. The Red Lancers rout. Now MacDonald's kind of open to the Russian Hussars here. Or Russian Dragoons, in fact. And be careful, because yeah, now Russia's all of a sudden looking like he has cavalry superiority in his flank here. Square might have just about saved from a bit of embarrassment there. MacDonald had been killed, that would have been huge. But yeah, I think this is the last guard unit left. Hard to say. I mean, there's another Chevalier girl on this flank here. I'd maybe shift to the other side, because Russia's got nothing on this side, cav-wise, and doesn't seem like he's got any interest in having any here at all either. The gunfight continues. Oh, France is now going for LOC fights. Has France always been in here? I don't know. It might have always been in here. Russia's actually going for the LOC fights. Either way, Russia definitely holds way more of these LOCs, so it's not the end of the world for them if they don't win that one. Yeah, looks like Steinhill here has been given the job of trying to take some of these buildings. He's not done a great job yet. His general's right by it as well. Fabian. And look at this! Russian infantry's on a rout in a line fight here. These Saxons ain't missing about. Yeah, they are just shooting the back of their own troops here. Yeah, guys, come on. I know you may not all be the same German. You gotta be make friends. This is a scary prospect for this French force here to go up against these three guards, to be honest. If they have a little bit of cav left, which I don't think they do, unless there's that Polish Lancer still knocking about, which it is, it's over here bothering a square. Fellas. There you go, they captured it finally, actually. Steinhill's actually got that building. I generally did not think he was going to get it. I was going to say that Polish Lancer can stay alive, go through this gap. Try and get a general. Russia, though, has cavalry superiority. They've managed to keep their dragoons alive and well. I think it's going to be the left flank with Rainier is where they're going to cook, if anywhere. These units are pretty weak. There goes Steinhill again. A lot of his infantry actually left over here. Yeah, gunfight. I feel like against the Germans didn't really work. Chevalier Gueuze going, of course. They have this cavalry unit still left as well. Infamous Chevalier Gueuze is going in. It's redlining. Needs to be careful. There he goes. Safe now. Is he going to get a charge? But now the Poles should be going in, trying to go for a cav charge because all the dragoons are over here. They're scared about Tychikov, and there's another general here as well, Steinhill. But I was going to say Romanov's very much open. A nice little win. Got rid of a couple of units here. And again, the Russians are retreating. Very much a bit like in real life, really. The Russians just keep giving ground, burning, you know, territory as they go. Both sides, though, scraping the barrel for reserves. Looks like we can see the these guys are just farming a little bit here, making sure some of these Russians just stay gone. This is going to be the clash of the titans between these two cav units here. It's going to be close, 2-on-1. But I mean, if they can get infantry support here, get a good volley onto the cavalry first, you never know. You never know. Well, it looks like that Polish Lancer has died. I think that's died trying to get these grenadiers over here. And now I think that grenadier there with the push as well here from the guards, forcing Davout back. So Davout's on the run, but all the German allies are actually on the push. Here they are now got Tomasov in their sights, and they feel like they've got the chance to beat him here. So they might do. It's pretty much Tomasov. I don't think Steinhill's got like a couple of units here. They're not bothered about the LOC. They're just going to try to defeat the men in the field. Then worry about LOC. We've got 10 minutes to do it. Ten minutes for glory or defeat. Yeah, we'll fast forward a little bit because there's not really anything going on at the moment. Russia keeps running away. Russia's retreating to this LOC here. He's going to use that as his like place to bunker down, I think. They're going to play for LOC now, which I don't blame them. France, I guess Davout's going to try and take this LOC off the Russians. What is in there? Is a guard unit in there? Guard sappers, I think, that have returned. They've been put in. That's going to be tough to take. Constantine's going to then obviously try and, you know, hound the Davout back there. I'm surprised he's not sending his grenadiers there, but maybe he feels like they're needed with Tomasov. Doubt they are. If like Rainier just wants to shoot him, that's fine. It's going to take a bit of time. Might take the 7 minutes. If he's going to go into melee, I think the Russians have the edge on Rainier. Well, Davout's got to go into melee, and he's going to have to go into melee without any cav support here. We'll see how that goes. The Chevalier is getting ready. They're weighing up the options of where to charge in. If they can get a general, huge, but they're not going to be able to just really get a general. They're going to have to push that cavalry out of the way one way or another. Yeah, put your infantry in the forest here, Davout. And send the lads in. Russians look like they're not doing that great in that building. They're winning slightly, but they're not. There you go. That sap is gone. France now has control of this building. Will Constantine try and assault it and retake it? Don't know. MacDonald's turned himself and a skirmisher around to help. see here, Rainier's still harassing those Tomasov infantry. And they're stockpiling that building with as many Russians as possible. There's 2 Russian units in there at this point. And then we'll see whether anything happens. I'm going to just fast forward it for now, just see where anything happens. I mean, they are sort of shooting each other a little bit, but nothing really that major. They're shooting, retreating of the Russians. And the Saxons are trying to get closer. Here goes a cav charge, though. They're going to try and charge the these guys. They definitely can form square. If they get a volley off, they could also do some severe damage to that Dragoon. General's just going to hide behind the building. Which really just means that they're just going to keep trying to encircle this building here. Keep pushing that. I mean, if they charge now, they might get the general, especially since the Dragoons here are busy trying to go for a different unit. Nice volley there. That might rout the Dragoon, you know. Nope, that was close. Nearly got the Dragoon, but they got the light infantry there. And there goes the Chevalier. He's going to charge in. What's he going after? Going to go in after the weaker Dragoon unit over here. And then he's then got 1. And there you go. The Dragoon's gone. I think it's been routed by friendlies as well. What's he going to go for? General Tychikov is probably the better shout. Although he's got a core. Tomasov is a bit of a botched charge here. It might still be enough. Look at that, the Russians are routing. They're getting volleyed to pieces there by the Rainier. The Dragoons are gone. And then the final cav unit alive is Rainier's. He's going to go in for the infantry, try and mess that up. Constantine, he's just kind of running away. He's getting chased as well by MacDonald. Love that. MacDonald leading from the front. Love that. Tomasov's corps is pretty much defeated. The Saxons are still alive with their cavalry. They're going into melee, though, in places as well. Routed that infantry there. And yeah, just all these units are routing. What building has been captured now? They've captured another one over here. Russians just have units scattered all over the place. Russians, if it ends now, are going to win on LOC. I think even if the French take this one, they'll have 2. While the Russians have about 4 or 5 still. And they got that general as well. They got Tychikov. I don't think they killed him off. I don't think Tychikov has any men in this building either. It's all Steinhills. There you go. General dead. As Tychikov's gone. Funny enough, the player's name is Bagration. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else major going on. 3 minutes left. Another general dead. Whose generals died now? Maybe Constantine's? No, is that Steinhills? I think that's Steinhills, possibly, if it's in this area over here. That actually could be detrimental to the defense here. Steinhills, last infantry trying to hold on. It's not going to, like I said, I don't think it's going to make or break the game because, like I said, I think they have just enough troops. Constantine's grenadiers are arriving as well at the last minute here, trying to save the day. Like, don't break, hold on. And there you go, there goes Steinhill. He's lost that armory, but they still have like 4 LOCs in their hand. So if this ends in the next minute 40, which it looks like it probably will, they should be fine. But yeah, Russia's falling back to this LOC now to try and hold. I mean, if they get this one though, if Davout and MacDonald manage to get this one, then it would end as a draw officially because it would be 3v3. But here we go. I mean, we are kind of fast forwarding here. Not really doing anything. They just need to get into melee. Get that this unit in here. Big boy unit. They're having to fight guard though. They're going to have to somehow... I think they're going to have to melee the guys outside. And then go into the building. It's cheesy, but that might be the way to do it, yeah. And there goes MacDonald's infantry. And there goes another one of Davout's. Yeah, the guard might just be a little bit too healthy at this point. And with no cavalry to support it and forcing them to square so you can charge them a bit easier, it is getting quite hard. It's just basic Russian infantry in that building as well, but it does not matter. The Russians are counter-charging the men, charging the building. France is going to put a beautiful volley in there. Might rout that unit, actually. Yeah, that should rout that. That might help. In goes France with a tiny little infantry unit side charging the guard. Oh, it's going to be super close. It's going to be very, very close. What is it? Literally 7 seconds left. The Russians have to hold on. What happened there to the French? Kind of like all charged and then all bounced out. And time is up. The French are going to lose by 1 building. And yeah, this is a draw. But yeah, it's technically a LOC victory for the Russians, who have 4 to the French 2. Literally, the French had to take 1 more, and it would have been a draw. It wouldn't have been a victory, but it would have felt like a victory to them, that's for sure. Hopefully, the end results are up on your screen for you to have a look at. I believe this is from the perspective of Steinhill, which I'm trying to remember now who was playing Steinhill, but it's so yeah, but yeah, thank you very much anyway for sending this one in. It was a really, really fun one. Honestly, I feel like the guard charge, bit of an odd one, but definitely nearly did work. In fact, like the guard cavalry, it's an odd one. I've never seen it before. Don't know if we'll ever see it again. But yeah, that might have cost them, might not have. More infantry might have been the way to go. Certainly since the 6 brought quite a bit of cav, but I mean their cav isn't necessarily the greatest in the world. But yeah, the guard cavalry, it did its thing, but didn't have enough in it in the end. But it was a good tactic, and something we've never really seen before. We'll have a quick look at some of the kills here. Yeah, we've got line infantry, sorry, with 139 kills. Line infantry with 101. But there are the rest of the kills for Steinhill as well from his perspective. Getting 1 kill as well before he fell. Very nice, very nice. But there you go, guys. That's today's NTW3 battle. If you did enjoy and want to see more Napoleonic action, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're around here, and a comment show support. And I'll see you folks in the next one. Bye for now.